This Saturday night, the Bendigo Bank Bros have the chance to equal a 24-year-old club record. If they beat Geelong here at Bendigo Stadium, it'll be 14 wins in a row. The last team to do that in 1989 had Mick Spear and Steve Kelly in the side. We caught up with them to reminisce about that streak.
And we both started in 1985 when the Braves first started, and I think Mick went for six, 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
And I think I was about 10 or 11. And we're lucky to be part enough of that 88, 89, 90 era. That was probably our highlights, I reckon.
Oh yeah. With some great players to play with, and played against some good players too. Yeah, it was good. Dave Flint was the coach, and he set us our main streak came from not losing at home, and we played the 88 season without losing a game at home, and that really set us up good, didn't it, Steve?
It did, yeah. And we probably just had a real good mix of guys there that we didn't have any conflict with each other. Everyone got along well. All the local boys, we'd grown up together virtually. And then to bring in, DJ Johnson and Flint, who were just quality Americans, nice guys. Johnson's probably one of the best shooters you'd ever see play basketball. Yeah. He's just a freak.
You talk about Johnson, obviously the 88 grand final, 70 points.
Yeah.
A remarkable performance, to say the least.
Look, it was, and during the game, we didn't realise he'd shot that many points. We just knew we were playing hard and scoring points, and just worked out that one guy was shooting most of them. But he was just a phenomenal shooter. At only about 6'1", he was an exceptional player, and just knew how to score.
What did it mean to Bendigo at that stage?
Oh, it was huge. It was unbelievable. I don't think we took our uniform off for 3 days.
No.
And everywhere we went, everybody knew. We used to get up in the old court 6 now. Home games, we'd get 1,000 to 1,200 people here. And in the end, we actually got in trouble off the council because we had too many people on the court for fire regulations and everything like that. So it was huge. I think the Addy, we had front page all over the Addy. It was very big.
Probably when we first started too, no one knew much about basketball, but we would get teams from other towns, and that's with New South Wales and all that coming in. We'd go, we'd never ever heard of Bendigo. And all of a sudden, after that little era of 5 years, all of Australia knew where Bendigo was. It put Bendigo on the basketball map.
You unfurled the flag, your first home game, 1989 at Bendigo Stadium. You had, this is the record score game, 161 points against Mount Gambier to their 119. You don't see scores like that too often these days.
We must have been really pumped.
Look, one of the big differences was they were 12-minute quarters. So, you are basically playing an extra quarter where they're only 10-minute quarters now. But against that too, they play a 24-second shot clock. We used to play a 30-second shot clock. Not that we heard it go off too often.
We wouldn't know what it sounded like. Not to shoot that many points. The interesting thing, I think, in 88, we averaged 124 points a game. I think we had 2 games for that whole year that were under 100 points. The rest of them were all 20s, 30s. It was boys could score a bit.
Yeah, like you're talking about, didn't mind taking a shot. Yeah. We're too worried about the
That's right. Jack it up.
The way basketball should be played.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, Flint's goal, the team goal, was to keep teams under 100 points. Now very few teams score 100 points.
What do you put the crowds down to? Is it a combination of things, the exciting players you had, the fact that basketball had just started up?
It was new, yeah. It was
basketball,
new, exciting.
It was on a bit of a high back then too. Like the NBL was fairly strong. It was really popular, and we had I think we just because we had a lot of local guys there too that obviously knew a lot of other people in Bendigo, and you'd get a lot of following like that with friends and family, and all that would come up.
Move on to game 5 versus Ballarat, 115-102 victory to take your record of 6-2. This is the top of the table clash. What was the rivalry with Ballarat like back in those days? I imagine it was pretty intense.
It was very intense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, well, it was a very good rivalry with them, but both being country teams, and yeah, we'd won it the year before, and they wanted to win it. Did win it that year, but and they were the same as us. They had a lot of local guys in there who, a lot of them were brought up with football mentalities, I suppose, and yeah, they did get very physical.
And all the way through our juniors, we played against a lot of these guys too, other than their imports, obviously. But you know, so we knew each other pretty well, and off the floor we were all mates, but not on the court. It was tough.
It's good friendship now, though. We'll go to Ballarat now and catch up with a couple of the old players and sit down and have a beer with them. And it's good friendship now, but it was pretty fierce back then.
On a side note, is it a little bit strange seeing David Flink as the coach of Ballarat now? He was your coach back in those days and playing with you as well?
Yeah, a little bit, but he's got a passion. He really has a passion for the game, and he's a great coach, David. He's knows the game inside and out. Yeah, I think it's great. He wanted to coach again, and he needed to do it before he got too old, I suppose.
It's good for basketball. It is. Yeah, and just as a footnote, Dave did come and speak to us before he actually accepted the position, wanting to know how we felt about it. You know that, and look, he's the sort of guy. If we said no, we can't stand you coaching Ballarat, he probably wouldn't have done the job.
And yeah, it's funny we talk about DJ and Bexo and all that in that era, but Flint would be the best import Bendigo's ever had as a player. The best all-round player. He was unbelievable.
I remember I think it was 88 season, the SEBL, all your stats and everything used to be handwritten and submitted to into the SEBL each week, and they didn't believe the rebounds that we were putting down for Flint. So they actually sent a commissioner up to watch one of these games, and it's coincidental his mother had come out from the States to watch the games, and Dave had 32 boards. Yeah, Ivan does a great job here getting around 18, 19 boards a game. Yeah, Dave took 32 for the game. Yeah, he was just a phenomenal player.
Yeah. At this point you've won 12 straight. Do you remember the feeling at the time? Was it a big deal that you'd won 12 in a row, or we had this amazing streak going?
The funny thing was that I don't think we ever knew.
It really wasn't.
The only thing we had in our mind is we didn't want to lose at home. So not losing at home was more important to us than actually realising we had this streak going, I think.
Just because of home court advantage, you wanted to win on your own patch?
Yeah.
And
we'd
look,
never lose at home.
No. And the other thing was, you didn't have all the stats and everything that you get now. And I know coaching the D League now, you're getting stats at quarter time, half time. You get stats on the quarter. We wouldn't get stats on the game, or very seldom. You'd know who scored and how many rebounds, and that was about it. So no, it wasn't a massive deal, was it?
No, we probably knew we were going along all right, but never actually realised we were putting a streak together.
Game 13, you won 127, 102 over North Melbourne. Game 14, 116, 108 over Devonport. DJ 58 points.
Ordinary game.
Yeah, and then you lost to Woodville at home, 109, 108. It was the end of your 20-game winning streak at home, end of your 14-game club record winning streak.
And yeah, I remember that game. I'll never forget it, actually, because it was up on the old court. We had this referee that didn't like us particularly, and he got us in the last 10 seconds of the game. He's just made this ridiculous call, giving them shots. They've hit them. We've lost by a point. I'll never forget afterwards, because we used to have the little referees room at the back of the stadium, was the after game function, and Flint went in there and absolutely tore strips off his referee. It was amazing. Absolutely. It was amazing he didn't get reported, I reckon. But yeah, and that's why he tore it, because he said, you've stopped us from this winning at home streak.
Yeah,
That's cost us that, one game in 2 years. That was the only game in 2 years that we'd lost at home.
Well, history says you made it to the grand final that year and lost. How deflating was that after trying to go back to back?
And it hurt even more the fact that we lost to Ballarat. You know, that really did hurt. Down to the point that I have never seen the game tape. I've never watched it.
Yeah, I've watched bits and pieces of it, but I don't think I've never sat down and watched the whole of it.
And in fact, we didn't find out. The fact that, talking about Flint, what sort of guy he was, he played that game with a broken bone in his hand that he broke on the Saturday night. Woodville, I think it was.
No,
Bulleen. That's right, we beat Bulleen.
We beat Bulleen in 2 years
yeah.
in the semis, and they'd hardly lost a game in both years.
Yeah. And Flint broke a bone in his hand that night and didn't tell anyone. And played the game with a broken bone in his hand. And
we just had one of those games that nothing really clicked for us. And I know at one stage, I think halfway through the last quarter, we were 18, 19 points down. We were getting our bums kicked.
Obviously, this Saturday night, Braves taking on Geelong. Huge game for their season, top spot in the East Conference. And this 14-game club record streak, they can equal it. How would you feel, guys, if you lost the streak?
I think records are there to be broken, so good luck to Harvey and the boys, and hopefully they do.